Performing phacoemulsification in a patient with a hard cataract in which the rhexis has been compromised can be a significant challenge. Here's how one such case was managed. So this patient is undergoing a capsular rhexis, but towards the end of the rhexis, hidden by the overlying flap, the surgeon accidentally makes a nick in the capsular rhexis which has gone missed, and the surgeon then completes the rhexis. The next step is of hydrodissection, but while performing a hydrodissection, that compromise in the nick has resulted in an extension of the tear all the way up to the periphery. Now, because the nucleus is rotating freely and the tear is at right angles to where I would do the phacoemulsification, I decide to proceed with phacoemulsification. The technique used is a direct chop technique. Turn by turn, with adequate care and caution, the nucleus is rotated, the nucleus is impaled, lifted up, and a direct chop procedure continued. At all times, there is ease of rotation that makes me feel that there is nothing gone too wrong. The rhexis tear has not proceeded posteriorly. Once the different fragments are created, the surgeon now embarks on emulsifying the amorphous core. Remember that when you are working in a compromised setting, you must work with reduced flow and a reduced vacuum with a view of actually making your phacoemulsification procedure more controlled. The surgeon now embarks on removing the different fragments, but accidentally, while actually attempting to remove this fragment, you can see he actually pulls on the iris. Now that can be a big compromise, because not only do you have a compromised rhexis, now you've got a floppy iris which is going to constantly keep trying to come into the phaco probe whenever you go in foot pedal 2 for aspiration or 3 for emulsification. With due care and caution, the surgeon now, with the non-dominant hand, holds the iris away and very carefully tries to complete the emulsification procedure and emulsify each of the fragments. The surgeon intermittently injects a dispersive viscoelastic with a view of trying to keep the frayed iris away. One can also attempt using iris hooks, but it's questionable as to how much they would use and actually be useful in actually keeping the iris away. At the end of emulsification, however, the surgeon now notices that the tear has extended posteriorly up to the posterior capsule. So what do you do next? There is an injection of a dispersive OVD to keep the vitreous away, and then in a careful, controlled manner, keeping the irrigation of the IA in the anterior chamber, and often now, as you can see, using the irrigation cannula to hold the iris away, the surgeon then removes all the cortical material. Fortunately for the surgeon, there is no further disturbance of vitreous, so surgeon is able to complete this procedure. At the end, you can actually see that there is a radial tear in the posterior capsule which has extended a bit, but the surgeon is still able to, with care and caution, actually insert a 3-piece IOL in the careful confines of the capsular bag. One month post-operatively, the patient resulted with 6/6 20/20 vision and a satisfactory end result.